know you're thinking about moving to Milton, Massachusetts, but you want to know the pros and the cons, the good and the bad before you make your decision. Well, that is exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's video, is the pros and cons to living in Milton, Massachusetts. And be sure you watch the video all the way through to the end, because I'm going to tell you the number one reason why you should move to Milton, Massachusetts, and the number one reason not to move to Milton, Massachusetts. So let's go ahead and get started. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living on the East Coast of Massachusetts in towns like Milton, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and tap the bell for notifications so you can know everything there is to know about the current market on the East Coast of Massachusetts. I am Brandy, I am a Massachusetts Realtor, and I get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day looking to make the move to Milton. And I've loved helping every single one of them, so whether you plan to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I am happy to help you make a smooth move to Milton. So Milton is about 8 miles south of Boston. It has a population of about 28,000 people, and it's a great suburb to live in if you want to be close to Boston and have access to everything that the city has to offer, but you don't want to live right in the city. And despite the fact that it is so close to Boston, it still maintains like a cozy, small town feel. And if you want to learn more about Milton, be sure to check out my vlog tour video where I take you through some different neighborhoods, show you some different homes in different price ranges, or you can check out my map tour video where I take you through Milton on the Google map so you can see where like grocery stores are, shopping, dining, beaches, parks, anything that you might need or want while living in Milton. But as I mentioned, in today's video, I am gonna talk about the pros and cons to living in Milton so you can decide whether or not Milton is the right fit for you. So let's go ahead and get started with the pros. So pro number one to living in Milton is colleges and universities. Living in Milton, you have access to some of the best colleges and universities in the country, like Harvard University, you have MIT, which is one of the best technology colleges in the country. We have Boston University, Boston College, the list goes on, and the best part about it is all of these colleges are like 20 minutes or less from Milton. The second pro to living in Milton is sports. We have some of the best sports teams and some of the biggest sports fanatics in this area. So if you want to go see a Bruins or a Celtics game, you can go over to TD Garden, which is only about 20 minutes away. Or if you want to see the Boston Red Sox play, you can head over to Fenway Park, which is only about 20 minutes away. And then you can also see the New England Patriots play at Gillette Stadium, which is only about 25 minutes away. So you have lots of great teams to root for living in Milton. The third pro to living in Milton is public transportation. If you need to commute in and out of Boston, but you don't want to deal with the Boston traffic, you have lots of transportation options. One of the most popular ones is the MBTA commuter rail. That will take you right into Boston. There are also several bus routes around town. You have access to lots of different car services like Uber or Lyft. And then you also have numerous bike trails throughout the town as well. Pro number four is access to several major routes. So for those of you who do decide to drive, you do have Route 128, you have I-93 and I-95, and you have access to all of them, which make it very easy to get in and out of Boston or to get around anywhere in Massachusetts. The fifth pro to living in Milton is low risk of natural disasters. So it is unlikely that you would experience an earthquake, tornado, hurricane, wildfire here in Milton. The worst things we usually experience are like a thunderstorm or a snowstorm. The sixth pro to living in Milton is things to do. So Milton is mostly residential, but it has access to everything: grocery stores, parks, post office, banks, gas stations, hotels, libraries, anything that you could possibly need right in Milton. It has tons of outdoor spaces if you like to golf, hike, go jogging, biking. It has tons of playgrounds with play structures, tennis courts, basketball courts, baseball fields. So there's Cunningham Park, which not only has great hiking trails, but it also has a pool that's open during the summer, so you can go swimming on hot days. It's got a big meadow that floods during the winter and freezes over, where everybody goes ice skating. It's got a community garden where 75 different Milton residents can grow their own gardens and maintain them. You have access to beaches, rivers, lakes where you can go scuba diving, water skiing, surfing, jet skiing, canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding. You can do any kind of water activity you could think of. You have lots of fun ways to get outside in any type of weather. There are lots of places where you can go shopping and dining, like East Milton Square. That's kind of where you're going to find most of your shops and restaurants in Milton. There are all different types of restaurants where you can grab burgers and fries, steak, seafood, pasta, if you just want to grab a smoothie or a coffee. It's got a great variety of restaurants in Milton. And it's got a lot of really unique shops, like Shop at the Q, where you can find clothes, shoes, accessories, candles, but they're all great quality and unique, things that you won't find in other places. They also have The Nutshell, which is a children's boutique, and they have clothes, shoes, accessories, books. They also have toys at the toy chest inside there, and it's kind of the same thing with them. They're great quality and things that you're not going to find anywhere else. And if you want to learn more about East Milton Square, be sure to check out my vlog tour video of East Milton Square. I walk you through the square and kind of show you where all the different shops and restaurants are in that video. And then of course, Boston is just 15 minutes away, which gives you access to everything the city has to offer, like hotels, restaurants, stores, spas, art galleries, music events. You will never run out of things to do living in Milton. This brings me to the 7th pro of living in Milton, and this is what I consider the #1 pro to living in Milton, is the location. You have access to everything. You have Boston just 15 minutes away, where you can live the city life, where everything is exciting and lively. There's so much to do and see, you never get bored. Or if you prefer the peace and quiet, you can head up to New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and you could be up in the mountains in 2 to 3 hours, where it's quiet and peaceful and fresh air, and they have little shops and boutiques that sell like handmade crafts, and you can just hang out and relax for the day. So you really can do it all living in Milton, because you have access to the ocean, lakes, rivers, mountains, the city. You can do anything you want within a couple of hours. And then if that is not enough, you also have Logan Airport, which is just 15 minutes away, where you can hop on a plane and be just about anywhere you want and anywhere in the world. So I know all of this sounds really amazing, but don't get too excited, because there is a downside to living in Milton. So we are gonna go ahead and get started with the cons. So the first con to living in Milton is the weather. Now this kind of depends on you and what you like, whether this is a pro or a con, because we have 4 seasons in Milton and throughout New England. We have the spring, which is like 40s to 50s. The air is crisp and beautiful. Great time to be outside. You can go hiking and jogging and biking. And then we have the summer, which is hot, like in the 80s and the 90s. Great time of year to be out in the water, doing things like swimming, water skiing, jet skiing, paddle boarding. Great time to just hang out on the beach and relax. And then we have the fall, where it's in like the 40s and the 50s. The air is crisp and fresh, and it is a most beautiful time in New England, where the leaves are changing beautiful oranges and reds and yellows. Also a great time to be outside jogging and hiking and enjoying the outdoors. The fall and the spring are my favorite time of the year to take the dogs out for walks. The air is so nice and cool and beautiful. But then of course, then we have the winters, where the temperatures are in like the 20s. So it is extremely cold and snowy, and it also is very dark during the winters. The sun sets around like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so you don't get a lot of sunlight during the winters. So if you hate the cold and you need the sun year round, Milton winters are going to be tough for you. But if you love outdoor activities like sledding, ice skating, skiing, or maybe you just like to sit by the fireplace sipping hot chocolate, then you are gonna love the weather in Milton. The second con to living in Milton is the traffic. So it is great that you have access to so many different routes and highways like 93 and 95, but because of that, it does draw in a lot of people, which means it creates a lot of traffic. So it can be slow getting around in Milton, especially around rush hour. So the third con to living in Milton is the residents can be unfriendly. So Boston kind of has a reputation for being rude, but it's not really rude. They're just kind of reserved and indifferent towards strangers. They take a little time to warm up. So some people, when they first move to Milton, may feel a little bit lonely and isolated, but if you hang in there, they do warm up to you. So this brings us to the fourth con to living in Milton, which I think is the number one reason not to move to Milton, and that is cost of living. According to payscale.com, the cost of living in Milton is about 51% higher than the national average. The median home price is over $1 million, and the average rent in Milton is about $3,200 per month. The cost of goods and services is about 25% higher than the national average, and groceries are about 14% higher than the national average. So childcare is also extremely expensive in Milton. Childcare for an infant, according to Economic Policy Institute, is going to cost about $21,000 per year. Childcare for about a 4-year-old is going to cost about $15,000 per year. Massachusetts is ranked the second out of the 50 states as most expensive infant care. Infant care in Massachusetts costs more than $8,000 more per year than the in-state tuition for a 4-year public college. That means that infant care in Massachusetts is more expensive than college. So if you have children, you need to keep this in mind because childcare is going to take up a big chunk of your budget. So I have covered the major pros and cons to living in Milton. So if you are a sports lover who wants access to great colleges and universities, and you love a great location with lots of things to do and see, and you love the 4 seasons, then Milton might be the right place for you. But if you are on a tight budget and you want somewhere that is quiet and more laid back, and maybe you hate the cold and you need the sun year round, then Milton might not be the right place for you. And remember, if you want to learn more about Milton, be sure to check out my vlog tour video and my map tour video. And if you are thinking about moving to Milton or anywhere in Massachusetts, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I am happy to help in any way I possibly can. And I really do hope that we have the opportunity to meet. And until then, stay safe and healthy.